Thank you for joining me on the channel Mazarov Tarot. Today is the third installment of the teachings of Buddha. So let's go ahead and get into it. I'm pretty sure that I left off I left off. Yeah, I left off here. Now, it's not necessarily joy to the world has come. No, joy to the world, the Lord has come. But essentially, if you live in joy, live in joy, live in joy, and look within, you could have health and love and peace and be still. But that is not what I want to talk about. I just wanted to finish off recap. It is extremely late, or actually early. I wanted to, kind of touch bases on what I had talked about. Ironically enough, I talked about Aaliyah, the singer, and how she was friends with DJ, aka Ananda. Now, Ananda's real name is Sarasvati, SWV type of thing. You're always on my mind, not necessarily. But how the two were friends, and Ananda, she was dealing with feminine issues and how her femininity was the death of her. Now Sarasvati is an Indian diva, and is connected to Lord Brahma. I could be wrong. But I did think that was interesting because she calls herself Ananda, and that whole thing is connected. There was something else that I wanted to talk about. Oh yeah, I do know a Sarah as well, because that's another Sarah. That's Indian Sarah. That's the Indian Sarah. Essentially Sarasvati means living water, but here someone is being judged because they decided, and all I could see was a living water or possessing water. It's like, it's not necessarily my child. It could have been. It could. As it wants to remain faceless, no face, no case, but that's not. It wants to remain anonymous, but the truth shall always prevail. It was like tied to like taking advantage of the sun and violating the sun and sexual immorality, and so on and so forth. And somebody felt older. Really, they felt like they were in a military, but no. Could have been an effing monkey. I'm not sure, but I did want to touch on that. And if I could still find a picture, then I might make it be the thumbnail for this. But anyway, let's go ahead and get into it. So we are starting off with the teachings of Buddha, and it says, I have boiled my rice, I have milked my cows, so said the herdsman Dinaya. I don't know. I am living together with my fellows near the banks of the Mai River. My house is covered, the fire is kindled. Therefore, if thou like rain, O sky, I am free from anger, free from stubbornness. So said the Blessed One. I am abiding for one night near the banks of the Mai River. My house is uncovered. The fire of craving is extinguished. Therefore, if thou like rain, O sky. Gadflies are not to be found with me. So said the herdsman in meadows abounding with grass. The cows are roaming. They can endure rain when it comes. Therefore, if thou like rain, O sky. I actually read this. So we can go ahead and bypass that. Essentially, it's like, I am not a slave, I am not a servant. But it's, for me, according to my page, it's like, I am not in a secret society. I am not the 1%. Because anytime I have 1% on my phone or anything like that, it's very close to dying. It's an emergency and it needs to be charged. So someone at that situation would be like, not seventh heaven, but essentially it's like, no, you need to call me about this chips and all this other stuff. But anyway, let's go ahead and continue on. Before my enlightenment, while I was still only an enlightened bodhisattva, I remember another reader had mentioned that for a Cancer sign, and it was like a spiritual teacher or something like that. Someone would have been enlightened doing that. I thought, in the case of material form, so we're talking nobility of feeling. Hold on. In the case of material form of feeling, of pleasure, pain, or neither, of perception, of formations, of consciousness, what is the gratification? What is the danger? What is the escape? Someone thought Cupid. Then I thought, in the case of each, the bodily pleasure and mental joy that arise in dependence on these five aggregates are the gratification. The fact that these things are all impermanent, painful, and subject to change is the danger. The disciplining and abandoning of desire and lust for them is the escape. As long as I did not know by direct knowledge as it actually is, that such was the gratification, such the danger, and such the escape. In the case of these five aggregates, affected by clinging, so long did I make. Hold on, y'all, I can't barely see. So long did I make no claim to have discovered the enlightenment that is supreme in the world, with its deities, its maras, and its divinities. In this generation, with its monks and Brahmins, with its princes and men, but as soon as I knew by direct knowledge, as it actually is, that such is the gratification, such the danger, and such the escape in the case of these five aggregates affected by clinging, then I claim to have discovered the enlightenment that is supreme in the world, with its deities, its maras, and its divinities. In this generation, with its monks and Brahmas, with its princes and men. I don't know what that's saying. I mean, it's something about five. How many times I say five? Okay, it starts there with the five. We're talking senses. I don't like sin. I remember there's five. Well, it's not 5%. 5. The 10. Hold on. 5 and 5. I got 5 on it. I'm not gonna stop there. I'm gonna continue going, but I just want to kind of dissect what was talked about there. So we know we're talking about nobility, people that can be somewhere, but they're like, that's not my home, and they can kind of dig up stuff and destroy stuff, but then find a sweet escape. Their sweet escape is like not having a material form. So they're feeling formless, that they can hover over the waters. They are also feeling not one with God, but they're feeling like they are also godlike because spirit. All right, cool. But the thing is, they are trying to deny themselves. They are just denying themselves. It's not pleasure, pain. They would be denying an experience, denying. I don't know. I just feel like denial. But someone is like in a situation, they didn't want to, as long as I did not know by direct knowledge. You guys know that not my first love, my first spiritual teacher was the Bible. So for me, knowledge has always been associated not with the devil. It is the thing that the devil told him, that you shall not die. You are not your material. You are not the flesh. You are not. And I do feel like nobilities are like, well, the devil didn't technically tell me. It's like a catch-22. But it's like, are you in denial? But it's like, because I know about the Supreme, the courts. I didn't know anything about the Supreme Courts. I don't know. It's some old people that could be 1%ing. I don't know who is Mara. Amara, Amara and Chuck. That's darkness. This is darkness because some of this is just nonsense. Like, it's not a spiritual teacher. I don't know what it is. I don't know nothing about monks. I don't know. And I don't know nothing about promise. I am just now learning about princess and man. Someone thinks somebody else is gonna die for them. I don't know who you is, but I don't know if I would want to do it. But someone just feels like because they doesn't have direct knowledge. What that mean? You can't talk to the devil? Well, something has been passed on to you. Someone's about getting informations. I don't know. It's got something to do with Virgo. I have no idea. But anyway, it says, being myself, subject to birth, aging, ailment, death, sorrow, and defilement, seeing danger in what is subject to those things, and seeking the unborn, unaging, unailing, deathless, sorrowless, undefiled, supreme, surcease of bondage, nirvana. I attained it. The knowledge and vision was in me. My deliverance is unassailable. I don't know what this is. This is my last birth. There is now no renewal of being. Seeking but not finding the house builder. I traveled through the round of the countless births. Oh, painful is birth ever and again. House builder, you have now been seen. House builder. According to master numbers, because I am into numerology, 11 is intuition, 22 is the builder, 33 is a humanitarian. This is not even the highest of the highs. It's only a 22. It's an exalted one. But it's more. But it's like humanitarian. I am good for humanity. But anyway, I traveled through the round of countless births. Oh, painful is birth ever and again. House builder, you have now been seen. You shall not build the house again. Your rafters have been broken down. Your ridge pole is demolished too. My mind has now attained the uniformed nirvana and reached the end of every kind of craving. I don't know what someone was craving. Lust and desire. But also it was attached to pain, sorrow. But on the flip, it would be the thing that they told me from the beginning with Buddha that I want to have. Happiness, stillness, peace. Those are also feelings. So it's like you have to go and have to let go of that. But then, okay, if you are formless, then you will be that will. No, you will be that shadow. You would bring that darkness to them, possibly. I don't know what it is. I don't know. It's getting deep. I don't know what it is. A man approached the Blessed One and wanted to have all his philosophical questions answered before he would practice. Oh yeah, this is Pisces. He went to a king, though. Pisces went to a king. Or he went to an emperor. He didn't go to a person that would have anything as far as spirituality. He would have went to someone that had a house and a liquor. In response, the Buddha said, it is as if a man had been wounded by a poisoned arrow, and when attended to by a physician, were to say, I will not allow you to remove this arrow until I have learned the caste, the age, the occupation, the birthplace, and the motivation of the person who wounded me. I mean, in context, I think they do ask both most of those questions when you go to emergency room before you can be seen. They start asking questions that doesn't matter. I thought they were in the business of healing, but they're in the business of filling one's pocket. But why is the arrow poisoned? It's a beautiful one. It's a print. I don't know if someone can break a picture. That man would die before having learned all this. In exactly the same way, anyone who should say, I will not follow the teaching of the Blessed One until the Blessed One has explained all the multiform truths of the world, that person would die before the Buddha had explained all this. What person? They keep saying don't be a person. I don't know. I don't know. Like it says, don't be a person, but it's like the only things that's not persons are the deities, the Maras, and divinities. Now you could become a shadow. You could maybe not be reborn, but I don't know how he's going to get divinity. I don't know if that's what they're asking me. Someone says that man. Who is a man? A man? A man approached the Blessed One and wanted to have all his who's questioning and have all his philosophical questions. That got something to do with Judaism, taking advantage gods. Before he would practice. For me, when I was speaking, I said Pisces wanted to open up a practice, but they was like learning the game from this Emperor King guy. But Pisces walked away when they realized something. That they had learned everything that they needed to know. I didn't see Pisces there. What I saw is Pisces walk away because they realized that they knew when they learned it. They knew what they needed to know. But they said some man did that. Just as a capable physician might instantly cure a patient who is in pain and seriously ill, so also, dear sir, whatever one hears of the Buddha's Dharma, be it discourses, mixed prose, explanation, or marvelous statements, one's sorrows, lamentations, pain, grief, and despair will vanish. This is a lot. Just as if there were a beautiful pond with a pleasant shore, its water being clear, agreeable, cool, and transparent, and a man came by scorched and exhausted by the heat, fatigued, parched, and thirsty, and he would step into the pond, bathe and drink, and thus all his plight, fatigue, and feverishness are allayed. Allied? I don't know. So also, dear sir, whenever one hears the Buddha's Dharma, be it discourse, mixed prose, explanations, or marvelous statements, all one's plight, fatigue, and feverish burning of the heart are allayed. All right. Now, this makes me think of welfare. Because, well, that's where you get your water, your drinking water, bathing water, especially when you're hot or in heat or something like that. But someone thinks it's fair. Yes, everyone should have clean drinking water. Everyone should be able to have water, spirituality, or something like that. Even, not Sarah, even someone very offensive to my son or myself. But some people feel like it is not fair. Some people don't like welfare. Some people don't even know what welfare is. You can have welfare or you can have welfare, meaning you can swear by the river Styx, because I think you need some sort of coin for that. Or you could think that everyone should has that. Everyone deserves a little bits of oasis. I don't know. Maybe nirvana, maybe happiness. I don't know. Let's go on to the Four Noble Truths. Four Noble Truths, Judaism. These will be questions. It's not what for. The Buddha said, and I discovered that profound truth, so difficult to perceive, difficult to understand, tranquilizing and sublime, which is not to be gained by mere reasoning and is visible only to the wise. As evolution, someone went through a change in stages gradually until someone became a man. But once you become a man, you could know about you gonna die. Because animals don't know that they're gonna die. I mean, I don't think so. I think animals know, like, it's a storm brewing. I just don't think that animals have a fear of death or question death or even have a fucking reason for death. So that could be. The world, however, is given to pleasure, delighted with pleasure, enchanted with pleasure. Truly, such beings will hardly understand the law of conditionality. Maybe these words are real big. The dependent origination, right, of everything. Yet there are beings whose eyes are only a little covered with dust. They will understand the truth. My eyes are sensitive. Um, hmm. They're like, not can you see? Essentially, it's alive. But according, me, you guys, it would be because someone breathed life into its nostrils. I mean, right? Because somebody said they want to be motherfucking formless. I don't know if someone will get it born again, but someone would have maybe been born for the wrong time. Maybe. A man? I don't know. Probably a servant. I don't know what it is. Somebody can get a job. I don't know what the fuck it is. What now is the noble truth of suffering? Birth is suffering. Decay is suffering. Death is suffering. Sorrow, lamentations, pain, grief, and despair are suffering. Not to get what one desires is suffering. That is true. In short, the 5 groups of existence are suffering. The 5 groups of existence? There's 5 groups? I don't know what the 5 groups. I don't feel they told me. But there gotta be. Let's go back to the 5s. Let's see, the 5s. 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 3. I only see 3. I only see 3. I only see 3. 33. But I do not see 5. Oh, I know 5. Yes. It's not animated. It's odd. The world, however, is given to pleasure, delighted with pleasure, enchanted with pleasure. Okay, I already said that. Blah, blah, blah. What now is the noble truth of suffering? Birth is suffering, decay is suffering, death is suffering. I already read that. What now is the noble truth of origin of suffering? It is craving, which gives rise to fresh rebirth and bound up with the pleasure and lust. Now here, now there, finds ever fresh delight. That's his drink. This juice. Most people, when they get ever fresh, they like fruit punch. I am not like most. When I drink ever fresh, I like, what's it called? Grapefruit. I like grapefruit. I don't know if it's divine. It's pink, but I do like it. I do find it at Kroger's. Do I find it delight? Yeah, only when it's for sale. Because if it's not for sale, then it ain't for me. Do I crave it? No, I usually just get it because it's on sale. I don't know where fruit punch. Somebody need to punch fruit. Yes, somebody need to punch it. I know how to punch shit. It's a smart bitch. I don't like that motherfucker. Give a fuck. She thinks she's someone's mother. But where does this craving arise and take root? Where did it take root? She thought she had roots, but she was German. Her root is disgusting. Wherever in the world there are delightful and pleasurable things, there are cravings arise and takes root. Eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, and mind are delightful and pleasurable. There these cravings arise and take root. Visual objects, sounds, smells, tastes, bodily impressions, and mind objects are delightful and pleasurable. There these cravings arise and take root. You guys, I was also reading the Bible, and I did not want to read Exodus, so I decided to read Leviticus. And when I was reading Leviticus, it was talking about an offering to God. Um, I thought did white men in here? I don't know what the offering is to God. I don't know. Consciousness, sense, impression, feeling born of sense, impressions, perception. Well,